So one that that we did in the webinar last week, this one here on June 14th, we can have a look at the results. This will take, the one we submitted now, even though it's quick training, it's 20 minutes or so. So we have a look at the one we completed last week, and we can have a look at the training information, and we have numbers.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, what do these numbers mean? What is the importance of these numbers?
Yeah, it's a good question, James. So again, at the top of the page, we have links out to our knowledge base, which will explain all these things. But this is probably one of the other things you need to remember. You don't need to know a whole lot about how AI compute works. You don't really need to understand the mathematics behind it, but it is handy to know what these numbers mean. So precision and recall, the closer they are to 100%, generally the better. Average precision, the closer it is to 1.0, the better, and the lower these number of false positives.
Mm-hmm.
So this app, we did it last week for the webinar. The results are pretty good. I'd probably move to an extended training after this and maybe bump these percentages up a couple, but I think this app would do a really good job as it is. So, but that's not the only thing that's available. Those numbers on their own are kind of interesting and give you a good guide, but we also provide a full training report to download. So you can either download it, or we can have a look here in our browser. This report PDF, it contains a whole ton of information about what went on during that training, and I've opened it here in another browser tab, which I'll just click across to. So again, this is the one from last week. There's a lot more information in here about what images we use, the annotations, what was training, what was validation. There's nothing hidden at all about what went on.
But Phil, I mean, is this just a bunch of quantifiable data? Is it just a bunch of numbers in this report, or do the users get something else?
Yes, they do get something else. So as well as the numbers, you do get images, pretty pictures.
Oh wow!
So you can see here. So the analysis we submitted was just to analyze a region of interest. Sorry, the training. My apologies. The training is just for a region of interest that we annotated. So on the top left here is the original image within that region of interest. The bottom left are our annotations, and the top right is what the AI algorithm found. And so I'll just zoom in a little. It wasn't perfect, and you saw by the numbers themselves it wasn't perfect. So some of these red ones here, they're calling them false positive. You compare. So over here we've annotated two separate cells in blue, and the algorithm only found one big cell in red. Or even here we annotated one big cell, and the algorithm's gone and found two separate cells. So there's a couple of things where it kind of disagreed with our annotations, but this really really helps you to see what's working, what's not working. But the good news is these bigger features here, which we didn't annotate, they've all been completely ignored, which is what we wanted. Generally, I mean, this was a quick training for the webinar, but if you have more than one region of interest in your image that you're using to validate, then this report will include the best performing and the worst performing image. So again, we're not hiding anything. We want you to be able to build the best app possible, and you need to know how to improve things. So you also have those visualizations here as part of, as well as in the report, you have them as part of the training output.